In her memory, she was just a little girl peering through the crack beneath the bathroom door, watching her mom collapsed on the tile floor. Her stepfather yelled at her to go back to the living room. That mother was Rita Eubanks, later found strangled and left in a creek. A few years later, 2 more women, Twyla Mickey and Belinda Norred, vanished after falling in love with the same man. This is their story.
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Amy.
And you're listening to She Goes by Jane. At the end of this episode and every episode, we will be joined by a special guest who will read an original poem by Amy Baker about the women we're featuring.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Amy.
This is shockingly going to be a short episode, and as we progress, we can discuss why that is. So I just wanted to warn you, because it's
Why it's short or why it's shocking?
all of it. Just
Why
both.
it's shockingly short?
Both why it's shocking, why it's short, together and separate. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I never know what to expect with you.
No. Mm-mm.
Never.
No.
Never.
Okay. And I know you're going to have lots of questions, so
Yeah.
let's just dive in.
Sounds good.
Sitting on the floor with her new stepbrothers, 3-year-old Lindsay was eager for the movie to begin. Her mom, Rita, had promised the children they could watch Winnie the Pooh on the VCR that afternoon. Just as Rita was about to put the movie on, Lindsay's stepfather came into the house yelling. Lindsay said she and the boys fell quiet. He was yelling at her about something. I remember thinking we're in trouble, so we all got quiet because he was not a very nice man, she later said. As the children looked on, he dragged Rita down the hallway into the bathroom, slamming the door behind them, the sound echoing around the house the couple had been working on renovating. Creeping down the hallway, Lindsay lowered herself to the floor, peering under the crack. Through the narrow opening, she could see her mom on the floor. Sensing the kids were outside the door, her stepfather came out and yelled at the 3 of them to get back to the living room. When Lindsay later asked where her mom was, he said she was in the bathroom. Lindsay creeped down the hallway again to look. Peering under the door again, she saw Rita still on the floor. I remember thinking she was asleep in the bathroom, Lindsay said.
Okay, I have no idea where you're going with this, but this is from the memory of a 3-year-old?
Yeah, so this is from a 2011 interview with Lindsay about what she remembered of her experience when she was 3.
When she obviously lost her mom?
But let's find out a little bit more about Rita.
Okay.
Rita Eubanks was a woman with a soft heart. Barely out of her teens, the married mom worked at Fouts Brothers Nissan in Marietta, Georgia. That's where she'd heard her coworker's story. S, as we'll call him, worked in the service department as a mechanic. That year, he'd lost his wife to cancer, and he was raising 2 boys under the age of 5 on his own. Her sister Tammy would later say, when Rita met him, all she could talk about was this poor guy whose wife had died of cancer that had these 2 little boys.
There's no cancer, is there?
There was cancer, yes.
Was there cancer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rita had separated from her own husband, but she couldn't imagine the pain of losing your spouse to cancer. She wanted to help S. She began making meals for him and his kids. Sometimes they all ate together. S and his 2 boys and her daughter. It didn't take long for their relationship to turn romantic. Soon, Rita was pregnant. The couple welcomed their son on April of 1986. He was named after S. 5 weeks after his birth, she officially divorced her first husband, and 2 weeks later, Rita and S were married. There were red flags from the start. Tammy, Rita's sister, said that he had a temper, and in her words, that he would go from normal 1 minute to blood red the next. This is the same temper Rita's daughter would talk about later, how she and S's sons would know how to go quiet quickly to avoid notice. And this pattern of behavior quickly brought Rita to her breaking point. In July, roughly 1 month after their wedding, the 2 separated. The separation didn't last long. While apart, S attempted suicide by ingesting rat poison, and Rita and S reconciled after the incident. But despite Rita's soft-hearted nature, she made clear that they were only back together on a trial basis. She set a deadline to see if their relationship would improve. And some of their time together was good. The two were working together to renovate a house. Rita's mother even came over almost daily to help with the project. But other things about their relationship put Rita on edge. Her mother recalled that she and Rita went shopping together at the town center mall, and while they were in one of the stores, her mother turned around to see S there. He was supposed to be at work, but there he was, across the store, staring at them. Another time, Rita and her mom took all 4 kids to a nearby lake for a picnic when they spied S watching them from a distance. Rita's mom told her she was worried about his behavior. It was clear he was stalking her, but Rita said she would handle it. This was the man that Rita had just married, the father of her newborn son. It was clear that she wanted the relationship to work, but it was also clear that he wasn't the man that she had fallen for.
Okay, so I have like a few questions, I guess, on timeline here, because we're like jumbling all these kids together, and you know how I am. I have a hard time keeping track. There's a lot happening here so far.
There is a lot happening.
Because in Lindsay's memory, we're not talking about a baby brother. We're only talking about the stepbrothers and her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so can you just like clarify some things for me, like timeline-wise?
Okay, so let's start with the timeline because I think that that's good for clarity. So S is married to a woman who dies of cancer, and she dies in the summer of 1985.
Okay. And those are her boys.
Those are her boys.
With him.
With him. Okay. So 2 boys. S and Rita, they work together at the same place.
And she is divorced?
She's separated from her husband.
And she has Lindsay at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So then she gets pregnant and she has their baby together in April of 1986.
Okay. So quite soon after his wife's death?
Yes.
The following spring.
Right. So at this point, he's got his 2 sons. She's got Lindsay from her first marriage, who she's still married to, and also their son together, who's the newborn.
And she's still married to her husband, but she is separated. She's not living with him.
She is separated.
Okay.
Yes. So
and they have the baby together.
Okay. So the baby is born in April, and 5 weeks after she gives birth, she officially divorces her husband. And 2 weeks after that, she and S get married.
Okay. So, and then that's when they move in together.
Right. And so in Lindsay's memory, she's remembering her and her 2 stepbrothers, but she does not make clear where her newborn brother is in this scenario.
Okay. So he wouldn't have been on the floor watching TV, though, because he's just a tiny baby at this point.
Yes. We're talking.
Okay. So I think I'm clear now.
Thank you. Few months old at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on October 4th, 1986, Rita and S returned to their home in Cobb County, Georgia, from a trip to North Carolina, where they were shopping for furniture for their home. S says they arrived late in the afternoon and worked on getting all of the kids bathed. So this is where we're going to have some differences between S's story and Lindsay's memory.
I got that from the way you said S says.
Yes. Okay. So S says that Rita told him that she needed to run out to the store to get a shower gift for a friend and some cereal for the kids for the next day. The store was just a quarter mile from their house, but Rita never returned home. A few hours later, S called Rita's mom, asking her if she'd seen Rita and telling her that Rita had planned to go to the store to get something and just hadn't come home. Now, Rita's mom knew something was wrong immediately. She also didn't believe what S was telling her on the phone. She knew that Rita never left S in charge of all 4 children, not even for a moment. But Rita's mother also kept thinking about another event from the day. Around 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon, she says her phone rang, and when she picked it up, she heard Rita's voice on the other end saying, "Mom," before the phone went dead. Rita's mom would later say, "I don't know. I had a mother's intuition that something was wrong." Now, S's call several hours later affirmed this for her. Around midnight, S actually called the local police to report Rita missing. On Monday around 7 p.m., a teenage boy spotted her body in a creek under the Pete Saw Road Bridge 3 miles from her home. Her sister Tammy would say the headline that ran the next day was one that would stick with her for years. Woman found face down in creek. She said, "Those words will ring in your dreams for a month." Rita was face down, partially submerged in the water. Authorities determined that she had been strangled to death and her body likely thrown down into the creek from the road above. They said that though her sweater and bra were cut from her body, there were no signs of sexual assault. The next day, her truck was found in the parking lot of the A&P grocery store in Blackwell Square, which was 3 miles from the creek. One of her earrings was inside. On Blackwell Road, located between the grocery store and the creek, someone else found her purse. While some of the items were missing, it offered few clues into who had killed Rita. To some, it looked like a struggle and a robbery took place there, or it was designed to look like it took place there. During their investigation, investigators learned that the two had far from an idyllic family day that Saturday. That week was the end of the trial reconciliation between the couple, and Rita, it seems, was done. The two had another violent argument that day when she told him that she was filing for divorce. It's unclear if they interviewed Lindsay at the time. Her story would have included the argument, the slamming of the bathroom door, and the image of her mother crumbled on the bathroom floor. Even if they had spoken to her, though, Lindsay was just 3 years old and at the time, so a shaky eyewitness that could never be called to the stand in a trial. So Cobb County Police maintained that they didn't have enough evidence to charge him. Fiber evidence linked him to the truck, but they likely knew that this was slim evidence considering the two were a couple. It wouldn't be unusual to find fibers from him in her vehicle. 6 years after her murder, police had arrested no one in her murder, though S remained a person of interest. Cobb Police Lieutenant M.A. Starnes said, "We don't have probable cause to charge him. The evidence we collected was all circumstantial, nothing that will stand alone."
This case is different than a lot of the ones we talk about with domestic violence because they really haven't been together that long.
No.
Like a lot of these cases we talk about, like this, the abuse happens for years before she actually dies from it.
Right.
But this one, it's like, it's just like a little over a year maybe?
Well, yeah, so a little over a year. So she goes missing in October.
Yeah.
His wife died the summer before.
Yeah, so we're just a little over a year and already got this bad.
Mm-hmm. Now, at some point, Twyla Mickey met S.
After all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So he's out and about. He's not ever...
He's out and he just met another woman.
Yes. Twyla.
And Twyla's the one that I thought we were talking about. And then you are starting with Rita. And now you're telling me there's going to be more.
Right. So for clarity, I always label the episodes, and this one starts with Twyla's name. So that's why Vanessa was like, why are we talking about someone named Rita?
Right. I started out so confused. I'm like, well, this is Twyla's episode. Where does Rita come in? So Rita was right before Twyla. So he has 2 wives that have passed away. One actually of cancer. Yes. One of his own.
So if you're wondering for timeline, we're now in 1989.
Okay.
So 3 years after...
3 years after
Rita was found murdered.
Okay.
So we're not sure when they met, because I know you're thinking...
Like, he moves fast with everything, and, so we think 3-ish years.
Well, they've not been together for 3-ish years, but there's a 3-year gap between Rita's murder and Twyla's disappearance.
And we don't know how long
I get the impression they're not together very long. Now, her mom said she wasn't sure when the two of them met, but she thinks she knows why her daughter fell for him. She felt sorry for him.
Ladies, let's chat.
Yeah.
This is not a good...
No.
We fall in love with people for other reasons than feeling sorry for them.
At the time, he was caring for 3 children. So his 2 sons from his first marriage and his 1 son with Rita.
Okay, so where did Lindsay end up?
Well, so Lindsay's
Obviously not
biologically
with him. Right.
His, yeah. So she's not raised by him, no.
And they weren't able to keep the baby with Lindsay?
So
Because
that's
it's
his
his?
biological child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
And yes.
okay.
We'll be back in a moment. He's caring for these 3 children, his 2 sons, right? And his 1 son with Rita. And then he'd had so much loss in his life. His first wife dying young of cancer at the age of 25. His second wife murdered at the age of 20. It was inconceivable that so much tragedy could happen to just one man. Twyla's mom recalled her daughter saying, "Mother, you've got to remember, I've got 4 boys." But Twyla's mom wasn't as moved as her daughter. She didn't like S, and she told her that from the start. I felt like she didn't know him either, her mom said. Mm-hmm. Still, the 30-year-old Twyla didn't have the same misgivings. By 1989, she had moved into his home on Pine Circle in Marietta. On November 30th, 1989, Twyla left a message on her parents' answering machine. In her message, she asked them to pick up one of her sons who was being cared for at S's mother's house. And then she said, "I've got to get away from here." That was the last time anyone heard from Twyla. When her mother picked up Sammy, Twyla's son, she was greeted at the door by S's oldest son. He pressed a note into her hand that read, "Please take me with you now."
What?
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of like heavy things on this podcast. But that one, I don't know. That just got me.
The note.
The note, just from this, imagining this little boy pressing a note into a stranger's hand, essentially.
Yeah, because you're just hoping
Like,
to get out. Yeah.
did he get out? What happened?
So I wish I had an answer about what happened here.
I just want to scoop him up and get him.
So what happened next is unclear. Did anyone speak with him? Did his note raise alarm? If it did, no publicly reported record of what happened is available to me. I do know that 1 week after Twyla's disappearance, S turned over custody of his and Rita's son to his father and stepmother, claiming he couldn't care for him. So
1 boy's out of the house, but he still has 2, including this boy that wants help.
Yeah. Now, Twyla's 1982 Tercel was found abandoned in Atlanta. Because there wasn't an active missing persons report on Twyla at the time, nor was it connected to any crime, when it remained unclaimed, it was eventually crushed. If that vehicle contained any evidence about what happened to Twyla, it was lost. Later, in 1992, Twyla's mother told reporters that in her heart, she knew Twyla was gone. "I can't believe she's alive, because I believe she would have contacted me," she said. In the same interview, Twyla's mother said, "If you could know the times I've held Sammy when he cried for his mother, how do you explain something like this to a little boy? I don't understand it myself. How do I expect him to understand?"
Yeah, so this episode, you're right. It is moving along surprisingly fast considering the amount of devastation we're dealing with. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're up to 8 motherless children at this point.
Yes.
We've got Rita's 3.
No, Rita had 2.
2, and then 1 with him.
So Rita had a daughter and her son that she shared with him.
Oh, yeah, the daughter and the son that she shared with him.
He had 2 boys.
2 boys.
From his first marriage. And then Twyla had 4 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8
children. Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. And yeah, so 8 children, 3 wives if you count his first wife. So he was not wives, I guess. Partners? Did he never marry Twyla?
He did not marry Twyla.
So 3 partners, including you don't think anything happened to her other than natural causes.
Oh, his first wife?
I'm still but maybe, if everything you've read says cancer, then we're going to go with cancer. Yeah. But anyways, just we've gone through 3 partners and now there's 8 motherless children.
So the reporting on all of this is pretty thin throughout. There's very little reporting about Twyla's disappearance Not any that I could find that happened at the time, only later information about Twyla's disappearance. So, like, we've moved through Twyla.
And we're not done.
No, we're not done the episode, no. Because 36-year-old Belinda Norred was a mom of a 14-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son.
Belinda?
She ran a cleaning business with her sister and lived in the Shadowwood Mobile Home Park in Ackworth. And like Rita and Twyla before her, she was wild about S.
Oh my goodness.
And like Rita and Twyla's mothers, Belinda's mother wanted her to stay away from him. But she wouldn't listen, her mom said later. She was crazy about him.
Oh my God. And I didn't even in that count mention all the devastated moms who knew and like had a feeling. Yeah. And I mean, it's hard to say because as moms, I think we have like a little feeling about everybody. You know what I mean? It's really hard. Like, I'm going to admit, like, as a mom, even like the best person in the world, you're going to be suspicious of them around your child.
Right.
But these moms are not wrong. They're not wrong at all.
No.
Their gut is telling them something that obviously is materializing.
Right. So kind of unlike, Rita or Twyla, who I get the impression that Twyla didn't know him very long, but Belinda actually had known S for a while. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So this is like, we're now in 1992. So 3 years after Twyla went missing.
Okay.
And 6 years after Rita was found murdered.
Okay.
So we're in 3-year intervals.
And he's just like, always free. Nobody's like, whoa, that's 2 now that have gone missing.
No.
No, not in any.
Which we're going to discuss a little bit more.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Because why are we not thinking about that?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
So now, so it's 1992. Like, the two of them had a relationship of sorts. Her neighbor said the two had an on-again, off-again relationship, one where they were often fighting. At one point, he even moved into her place in Shadowwood, but that didn't last long. Still, Belinda's daughter, Cherie, said that S would often spend the night at their place. She thought, though, that S might be cheating on her mom. Her family continued to beg her to stay away, but to no avail. Belinda's mother said, "I begged her not to mess with him. I knew he had a problem, but Belinda was just the type of person who didn't believe anything bad about anyone."
So Belinda sounds like very sweet, but it does sound like her mom and at least her daughter were both looking out for her.
Yeah. Now, on August 6th, 1992, Cherie returned home from a sleepover, expecting to find her mom at home. Instead, she found their place empty. As she looked around the home, she noticed that there was a comforter missing. And then, strangely, the cord to the phone was gone. Looking outside, she noted her mom's silver Nissan pickup truck wasn't outside where it should be. When Belinda failed to return home, her family reported her missing. 6 weeks later, authorities would find Belinda's pickup truck 45 minutes away in Smyrna. Like Rita's car, it was left in a shopping center. Investigators would later reveal that S pawned some of Belinda's jewelry after her disappearance. Her children insisted that she never took those pieces off, not even to shower. They also said they knew S was in possession of a gun that Belinda kept in her purse, but he denied any involvement in her disappearance. In September 1992, just 1 month after Belinda went missing, S was arrested for trying to steal his brother's car in Rome, Georgia. While in custody at the Gilmer County Jail, he attempted to commit suicide and was removed to a hospital for care and observation. S had, been questioned in Rita's murder and in the disappearances of Twyla and Belinda. While he was considered a person of interest, investigators were reluctant to bring charges against him, citing a lack of evidence in each of those cases.
But do we need evidence when the same thing happens to 3 of your partners?
So apparently, now
3.
I know. So he's just a person of
2
interest.
2 was enough for me.
Just
1 was enough.
Just a person of interest.
Okay.
Okay. Now, none of those cases moved forward. And in 2001, Cobb County Homicide Detective John Dawes finally said what everyone was thinking. This is 3 women dead or missing in 6 years, and they were all associated with S.
Finally.
Yeah. Now, again, news coverage of these cases was minimal, even at the time. Rita's murder was the only one that generated real headlines, and even those fizzled out quickly after a few weeks with no arrests that were made in her case. To outsiders, Rita's story was one that remained a chilling, unsolved murder. Twyla and Belinda's disappearance went practically unnoticed by the public. It wasn't until S's arrest for car theft that a few articles linking the 3 women's stories started to appear in the papers. It left their families and friends to mark the anniversaries on their own, to remember their loved ones on their own. And while the authorities were reluctant to move forward with cases against S, the 3 women's families were not so hesitant to point their fingers at S. In 1992, Tammy, Rita's sister, said, "In 6 years, the case has not been out of our minds." She then added, "I could forgive him for killing her, but not for dumping her body off of a bridge." That to her was the final indignity done to her sister's body. And it's such a harrowing sentiment. Like, it really speaks volumes about the need for dignity even in death. In a 2011 follow-up article, the women were drawn together again, united in their grief and circumstances. So much more time had passed, but still no answers were forthcoming. Twyla's mother said, "It's been a nightmare for me. It really has. To live that long and not know what happened to my daughter." Belinda's family members were also united in their desire to have Belinda's body so they could bury her. Her daughter said, "I don't even care if justice takes its course or not. I just want her body. I just want closure." And Belinda's mother made clear that they were still waiting for answers. She told reporters, "If he didn't do something to her, he knows what happened to her." It was clear that she just wanted to know what happened to her daughter all those years ago. And then she said, "If she's dead, I'd like to have her body, at least to put it away." In 2013, S died at the age of 55. He had married for a 3rd time, and his wife was listed as one of his survivors.
Did his 3rd wife not know that 3 women were murdered or disappeared while they were with him? That's now, I mean, before we said 8 motherless kids, we're at 10 now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at what point I'm having a hard time with this one.
Mm-hmm.
How is this okay? How is nobody... Are there other men out there with just, like, basically, you know, one woman after the other, and they're just flying under the radar and nobody is realizing what's going on? Like, could that be happening right now?
No, yes. Mm-hmm.
It could, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just... I don't think we've ever talked about anything like this before.
No. This is so heartbreaking. And it's just like, I mean, I guess you could say he's either the man with the worst luck in the world or the man with the best luck in the world, right?
He's the man with the best luck. And I mean, he's tried to end his own life several times. People keep saving him. He just meets another woman, does the same thing again.
Oh, like, so it's like...
It's just like, he just keeps going and going and going, and nobody's picking up on this, and everybody's just like, oh, this poor guy.
Yeah, so to be clear, he was never charged with any crimes during the course of his life besides DUIs, and he was charged, of course, with trying to steal his brother's car. But otherwise, no.
This whole one is just like... not sitting well in my stomach.
Yeah.
All these moms knowing what their daughters were up against, all these kids without their moms. Like,
yeah.
And this guy just keeps on going, dies out of prison in a 3rd, well, I mean, with a 3rd wife. This how many relationships later?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, so, I mean, to the point, though, like Rita's daughter, she was left with the memory of her mother laying on the bathroom floor. Rita that young mom of 2 who would be old enough to be a grandmother now. One of Twyla's last acts in life was to call her mom to make sure that her son was safe. Like Rita, Twyla would also be old enough to be a grandmother. And Belinda, whose daughter came home from a sleepover, likely looking forward to telling her mom about her night, came home instead to an empty house. Though S is gone, I strongly believe that someone knows something that can help these families. It's time.
The Undoing, Twyla Mickey, 30, missing since November 30th, 1989, from Doraville, Georgia. Belinda Norred, 37, missing since August 6th, 1992, from Ackworth, Georgia. Somewhere in Georgia, a child remembers her mother's body pressed against cold tile, hair undone, a dark halo around her head. This is a place where it's dark at the edges of the riverbank, nothing but a snake slipping through the mud while a child remembers her mother's body pressed into the cold water. Every autumn becomes an act of remembrance. Every midsummer day, a holy reckoning. A mother cradles her daughter's son, who cries out, missing, how he tucked himself against her, her body a fortress of safety. Somewhere in Georgia, another mother slips her hand into her granddaughter's as they wait for a phone to ring. There is no way to count the years of wondering that can also measure the sound of an empty house or answer why a child remembers her mother's body.
For more information about our show or to check out other shows on the network, please visit evergreenpodcast.com. Bye, Vanessa.
Bye, Amy.